Okay. Have you stalled your Father's Day gift until 6 hours before Father's Day ends? Well, if you did that, you're just like me. And if you're just like me, then you know that the best gift for Father's Day in the middle of summer is a little bit of Christmas spirit. So, I'm going to make a coaster out of a piece of a Christmas tree because I am the best environmentalist that I know. So, how do you make a coaster out of a Christmas tree? Well, if you know a little bit of math, you know that chainsaw plus, tree equals wood. And, now you've just learned Calculus 3. So if you know that, let's begin. And to begin, we're going to do sanding. And if you did not know, sawdust is incredibly toxic if breathed in for long periods of time at high quantities and can give you lung cancer. And if you're like me, then you only learn this 10 years into your sanding career, which essentially means that I've been breathing in sawdust for the past 10 years without knowing it. I'm probably going to get lung cancer before all the smokers I know. The smokers that are in the high school bathroom, but, it is what it is. Okay, let's get started. This is a belt sander, and, let me just show you what it does. It goes really fast, and if you're like me, you probably do not want to get your fingers caught in it. So, you know what they say, safety first, no gloves. And, if you've noticed, this belt sander, has no sand on it. So I should probably get the sand on it. This is what we put on a boat sander to make it sand. And it's what we're going to be using in order to get this little wood puck to become smooth, I guess, and level. Because if you don't conform to society, I don't know where I was going with that, but I guess we just make it level now. I just realized. Almost started sanding, not only without putting the sand on, but without my gas mask. So, if I die in the next 10 years due to some mysterious lung disease, you know what caused it.
Okay. I'm Bill Cosby. Okay, let's get started. I swear I'm not Bill Cosby. That was a terrible joke. Let's just get started.
Wow, now it's voiceover time. It's the first video I've ever made, and hopefully it'll be the first of many to come. Uh, this channel will kind of serve as a blog of sorts to record my shenanigans, and voiceover time over.
Okay, now it's mostly flat. It got a little burned though because I kind of pressed it too hard against the sander. And if you didn't know, friction makes things hot. Yeah, something I learned when I was 5 using the sander. Don't ask why I was 5 and using power tools. But now that it is sanded, I'm going to do something unique that I actually haven't done before, so I don't know if it'll exactly work. But wait, did I snap with my right or my left hand before? You know what? Doesn't matter. Okay. If you could read, I just learned how to yesterday. This is Ronsonol lighter fuel. This is not sponsored. I have 0 subscribers. Why would I be sponsored? But I'm going to light this on fire because I am a professional. And this lab coat is supposedly fire resistant. A professional arsonist, that is, but a professional nonetheless. So, I guess I'm just gonna dump it on here. The purpose of this step is, much like how you see this dark spot on the wood where it got darker because of heat, I'm gonna light this on fire to make it darker. Because that makes sense, right? So I'm just gonna put a healthy serving of lighter fluid, like all people do. You know, I'm pretty sure there's an actual like word for this technique. It's like wood burning or something like that. And like people actually make genuine art out of it. Editor, please, or wait, I'm the editor. Okay, me, please put pictures of actual wood burning art on screen. Oh, wait, that got bigger than I expected. But yeah, I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. I don't actually know what I'm doing. But it got darker. Yeah, it's getting darker. Yeah, this is good. Okay. I finished burning one side. And, I mean, it certainly got darker, but it also got rougher because in the process of burning it, the burning surfaces weren't exactly the most level and even, which means I got to sand it again. And, well, for your information, I did not burn the other side because God knows if I had that much lighter fluid, we'd be missing a few cities by now. Okay, let's get to it. This will be the secondary finish of sanding, and for this one, for this new sand, we're going to be using a much smoother sandpaper with a lot smaller grit, which essentially means that it can make surfaces a lot smoother. And we'll get a little bit more into that later. But at the moment, let's just smooth this part out again because kind of burned it. You know, some people say that fire is dangerous, it's a hazard, kids should not have access to it. They're right. But you know what? You'll never learn to not play with fire unless you play with fire and get burned. Guess what happened when I was 5? Okay, let's get to it.
Now I am testing out a new mic. Oh, is that way too close? Wait, this video is kind of just a test out, so yeah.
Fun fact, I just realized midway through sanding, I forgot this thing. I'm not surprised if I'll get lung cancer.
Filming YouTube videos is kind of, it feels cringe because, like, I don't know, you're kind of just filming yourself talking to yourself. Like, I'm pretty sure my neighbors think I'm
And
crazy.
we've just finished the second layer of sanding. If you notice here, a lot of the burning went away, a lot of the ash, a lot of the darkness. I wish that would happen in my life. Okay, a lot of the darkness went away. And with that, it kind of looks really blotchy and strange. But my art teacher said, art is subjective, but the pictures I draw are objectively trash. So, I think this is alright. And going to the other side, I mean, just the same thing, but smoother, I suppose. And if you look here, it is pretty much level. You know, I failed geometry, so I obviously know what I'm doing. So, looks like we got done with the second layer of sanding, or second step of sanding. And that means we go on to the third step of sanding, which is what I like to call overkill. But it literally makes the wood reflect like light, I suppose. I mean, technically everything reflects light. That's how seeing works. But it like kind of like shines like Like, you might be able to see the effect right now. Or kinda, I don't think it's working right now, but for this second section, we'll be using a cool little thing that is called, I don't know what it's called, but I'm gonna call it a sand doohickey. And with this sand doohickey, you could put random pieces of sandpaper like this one, which is used and abused, and you could just strap it on here, and now you have a solid surface to rub your wood against. Oh, that... You have a solid surface to rub your coaster against. Yes. Ah, man, the internet has ruined me. Okay. For this third layer of sanding, I think that it would be best to go with, let's see, 500. Let's go with 220 grit sandpaper, or you can also go with 110 grit sandpaper. Let me find a good piece to work with first. 20. Okay, this is good. 20. This one's too huge. Oh yeah, fun fact about sanding: the higher the number is, the smoother the sandpaper is. Which, I don't know if it makes sense or not. I don't know. Nothing makes sense anymore after learning physics. Actually, no, physics made me understand well. Nothing makes sense anymore after reading. What's a rant? Oh, nothing makes sense after reading Chainsaw Man. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So, I just need to remove the old sandpaper, replace it with the new sandpaper, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, I ended up getting 110 grit sandpaper on here. It's really up to you what grit of sandpaper you want to use, but usually it's better to use like gradients of increasing fineness of sandpapers. Like start out with 60, go to 110, go to 220, then go to 1500. But I'm going to be starting out with 110 just because I think I did a good enough job on this with the belt sander. And when it comes to this kind of hand sanding, I like to apply just a little smidgen of water just to help the sandpaper and the wood kind of like rub against each other and grind off more effectively and smoothly. But we won't have to do that with 110 grit sandpaper since it's rough enough to where it'll get the job done appropriately. But when it gets to like 1500 or 220 grit sandpaper, then you have to apply a smidgen of water. So, time to start rubbing my wood.
Whoa there, my friend. Stay PG, please. This might be seen by colleges if I decide that I want to make my application a joke. But yeah, keep it chill. Keep it chill.
Okay. Finished sanding the third level of sandpaper, which is 110 grit, and it's looking a lot better. It's a lot smoother. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, it's all. Go. It's nice. It's nice. Yeah, we better. We should move on to the next grid.
Hey, editor here. Can you like stop? Like, can you stop being so weird? Actually, wait. This is kind of boring. Editor, wait, it's me. Put up a picture of something cool or like something funny or uh something you find on the internet. But just let's just get to the point. Why am I weird? Why am I this? Why do I do the things that I do? Why am I so weird? Maybe that's why I record videos of myself playing around with my wood. But just why must you do this? I I'm so disappointed in you. Okay, let's move on to the next grid. Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on.
220 grit sandpaper. It's probably reversed on the camera, but this is our next step into achieving the smoothest coaster possible. It's gonna be beautiful. Okay, finally got the sandpaper onto the doohickey, and I applied a little bit of water, if you can see the reflection in the camera. And when it comes to putting water on sandpaper and sanding something, especially something like wood, you want to be careful not to put on too much water, because the water eventually absorbs into the wood. And depending on whether or not your wood has been dried or not, this thing has been drying for months. Adding water to dry wood can cause it to split when it eventually dries out. You could prevent the splitting if you have like some kind of sealant like linseed oil or polyurethane, which will prevent the water from escaping back into the atmosphere. But if you just apply a little bit of water, things should be fine. Also, side note, when it comes to hand sanding, I usually don't wear a gas mask or whatever kind of mask this is, particle mask. Usually because, well, it doesn't produce that much dust, and it's usually just polishing and not actual like grinding down a piece of wood until it's level and thin. So instead of getting cancer in 5 years, I'm gonna get it in 10 years. Good trade-off, isn't it?
I don't even know what to do with these voiceovers anymore and like these like speed up shots. But like I know I said this before, but the more that I watch these and talk, the more I realize I'm cringe. Like look at me. What is this bozo doing? He's making a coaster. Like I'm just gonna play music now.
Okay, finished the third layer of sanding. I've been rubbing my wood for so long. For I don't even know at this point. Hours? Days? Wait. Let me rephrase that. I've been sanding this down for quite a bit, and so far we've gone through like 60, or it's more like 30 grit that was on the belt sander. Then 60 grit for the second layer of belt sander work, and then 110 grit for the third layer. Oh wait, I was on the fourth. Okay, and then 220 for the fourth layer, and now we're at the big mama, the magnum opus, the strongest sandpaper, or well, not the strongest. It's the finest that I have at the moment. 1,500 grit. It's a little bit odd that I get this excited over just a piece of paper that's a little bit coarse, and I use to rub my wood with. Okay, to understand my excitement about this piece of sandpaper, it's that 1,500 grit sandpaper is usually used for metal, for polishing metal, and I'm using it for a goddamn coaster. I have priorities. I have no regrets about how I spend my time and my money. I'm kidding, I didn't buy this. This is from some old Pinewood Derby race when I was a Cub Scout. When I was 5. Wait, that's when I burned... Okay. Let's just set this up. And as said before, we're gonna wet this paper just a little bit, but not too much, because we don't want this wood to crack or split or absorb too much water. And this layer should give us the layer that makes it kind of reflective. It's overhyped to the common plebeian, but I get way too excited over this stuff. After 2 hours of working on my wood, rubbing it until it was hot, making it be so excited. The molecules inside it so excited that it almost seemed like it was on fire. It is finished. My wood is finished. If you don't see it, look. You see how it reflects light? It looks much better like in real life, but look, it's shiny. Wow. Wow. Okay. Now that we have it shiny, we move on to the next step. First, we sanded it, made it level, made it thin, made it suitable. Then we polished it. Now I gotta lube my wood up. It's another step in polishing it. I'm oiling it up. Oh man, being a woodworker is so... Oh, why does everything, when talking about woodworking, why does it all have to sound so sus? Like, it's tough. It's tough, but we're gonna oil this up, and I'll show you what kind of oil I choose. Then the next scene, clip, cut scene. Just realized before I oil up my wood, gotta personalize it. This is for Father's Day after all, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna be using my chisels. These things are beautiful. They're beautiful. Each one of these costed me like $20 to $30, but they're handmade. They're chisels. Just look at them. They're so nice. And if you look closely at the tip, you can see the point where the two different types of steel that they use to make this thing, like you can see where they connect, like where they welded it together or whatever. See, like this top part, I'm pretty sure is soft steel, and this bottom part, like this bottom part, is hardened steel, or is like a harder steel with more carbon content, because like the soft steel, it supports any impacts that this chisel like takes in, like from a hammer or something, and the hardened steel, it retains its edge. Like if this thing were made entirely of hardened steel, then it would be very brittle and it would be prone to cracking a lot and fracturing. Even though it's hard, that doesn't mean that it can't be like chipped, you know? And if this thing were made of entirely soft steel, then like, although it could absorb an impact, it could absorb an impact, instead of chipping, it would actually probably bend, which is arguably worse, depending on how you fix your chisels. And it would be very prone to getting dull super quickly. Right now, you know, I spent too much time researching chisels in order to find a good one. But now that I found one, I'd sell my firstborn child to get another one of these chisels. Wait, does that mean my firstborn child is worth like $20 to $30? You know what? That's true. I would sell my firstborn child for $20. Okay. I'm gonna be engraving initials on this side. You won't be able to see how it goes down, but you'll see me hammering away. Oh, also another thing. I also have a little carving knife that costed $8. It's a bit dull, but I use it to work on the finer details when doing engravings. And I'd say it's pretty snazzy. So, I'm gonna get to work now. I'll talk to the camera later. Okay, I have finished the engraving. If you can see it, is it backwards on the camera. I don't know. I was thinking of filling it in with paint and then like sanding it down, so then like the paint is only in the little engraved area, but to be honest, I think that might mess a little bit with how smooth the wood is. So I'm just not gonna do that. If it's reversed on the screen. Here it is. Right side? Right side, yeah. If you can see it. I think I'm gonna give it a few runs with the sandpaper just to make sure it's smooth. Because what's the point of a coaster if it's not so smooth you can rub it on your cheek? And I'm not gonna say the second part, but like, it's so smooth. It's beautiful. Wait, do you see the reflection? Yep. But it's beautiful. Like, especially this side. This side looks like a California wildfire. That was out of pocket, but I'm gonna keep it in. But now we're gonna do the oiling step. I'm actually gonna record this entire part because I'm American. I love oil. Both when I use it to fry things and both when I use it as a reason to take over other countries. I love America. I'm Asian. I'm Asian. Okay. Oh no! My chisel. Damage control. Okay, the blade is safe. It's unscratched, but this little ring came off. This ring is used to help like absorb any shock that comes onto the chisel. So it's I'd say it's pretty important. I wouldn't want to lose it. Plus, it's steel. It's high quality metal, or maybe it's iron because iron's softer. But I don't know. But this is my little container of oil. The oil I actually chose for this project is sesame oil, because technically linseed oil is the best oil to like polish your wood with, or like stain your wood with. I don't know what the exact term is called, like protect your wood with, because it has special properties where it helps contain moisture better, it helps protect from the sun, and it helps protect from like just general wear and tear. But this is a coaster. It's not going to be outside, it's going to be inside. It's going to be doing nothing but holding coffee mugs on it, so like it doesn't really have to be that protective. So I chose sesame oil because unlike olive oil or like vegetable oil or canola oil, sesame oil has a really deep and rich color, which will contribute to how pretty this wood will turn out to be. And fun fact about vegetable oil that I found out, I looked at the back of a vegetable oil bottle once, and on the ingredients, there were no vegetables on there. Are there actually vegetables in vegetable oil? Are there actually vegetables in vegetable oil? Okay, you know what? I'll make a little video on that maybe eventually. I don't really know. But to apply the oil, I'm gonna be using a paper towel. And yes, although it will soak up a lot of oil, I think it dispenses oil much better just because it's able to soak up all that volume and it's able to apply it. And I think it's easy to do evenly. And since this is sesame oil, I can just apply it with my hands. And if you notice, this little cup does have Korean on it. And if you're wondering, yes, I am half BTS. I am half Korean. Okay, but what's so good about being Korean if you don't listen to BTS and you eat kimchi? Okay. Oh, that's such a bad stereotype. But who cares? I don't care. The lighter's still in the shot. Okay. So, how I do it is I usually just dab the paper towel in a little bit of the oil. Look how dark it is. It's perfect. And I just apply it onto the wood. just lube it up, like lotion or sunscreen or I don't know, like when you rub seasoning on a chicken. I don't know, just like when you rub stuff on meat. Like just be gentle. Make sure that the oil applies evenly, that you don't have too much oil on your paper towel, because that may cause the wood to take longer to soak up all the oil that you apply on it. It's kind of like spray painting, where you apply a bunch of thin coats instead of just like completely drowning a canvas in a puddle of oil, in a puddle of paint. I know some TikTokers, some kids on the TikTok, they do that and they call it art. I mean, art is subjective, they're not wrong, but God, that would take so goddamn long to dry, so I wouldn't want to do that. So now that's applied here, look how much darker and richer the color got, and now it's more reflective. That's just because the oil is wet, but I'm just gonna pretend that it's because of how well I sanded this. It's great. Oh wow. Whoa, this side really took it in well. God damn. Boy. Yeah, I definitely saw my firstborn child for this. Man, why aren't more people using sesame oil? It smells nice too. What's wrong with you TikTok woodworkers? Who needs practicality when you have things that smell like sesame and look pretty, I guess. But you just apply one layer at a time, slowly. You don't want to apply too much at one time, as I said before, because it's gonna soak in too fast. And the great thing about oil is that it soaks into the wood, but it doesn't soak in like water, where the cells of the wood actually take in the water really well and it expands. When you apply oil, the wood doesn't really expand, so that means when it dries off, it won't crack, which is pretty neat, I guess. I don't know, I just think it looks pretty. Is this gonna be my first video on YouTube? On the reject channel? Man, that's ominous. It's gonna be like my college acceptance letters, or rejection letters, or actually they're not even letters, they're emails nowadays. Kids these days, always on their little devices. I bet they've never even written a letter. I sound old. I'm probably younger than you. That's right. But yeah, look at the grain on this. Look at the little, I forgot what it's called. I don't know, I'm just gonna call it a little crack. No, the one right here. Pretty neat. And then on the other side, you have all the burnings. And the burnings really made it look nice. Oh, you can see the engraving better now. Yep. A B and a K. And I will say the B was kind of hard to engrave because it's round and my chisels are straight. So like, it was a bit weird to get it on there, but it turned out alright. It worked out. Oh, it's reversed, isn't it? Well, the time is currently, I think, I don't want to stop the video. I think it's around 8. So this took like 2 hours to make. And you know what? 2 hours well spent. I won't lie, I probably could have bought this from like a dollar store like Daiso for like $1. And at like standard market rates. Like I think in California the minimum wage is like $15.50. So I'd have to sell this for like $31 to make minimum wage. Plus like expense costs. So more like $32. I'm not even gonna lie. The stuff required to make this is like really cheap. besides the Christmas tree, but that's just me being resourceful. So I think this is where I'm gonna end the video, because I mean, goddamn, this looks good as it is. I'm gonna apply a few more coats of oil by myself. Make sure it's nice and colored. I like my wood like I like my coffee, dark. We don't talk about women. Okay. Yeah. Have a good Father's Day. I hope you have a father. Yeah. See ya.